if we could honor God this morning by rising up for the opening prayer. We are praying. We begin in the name of God the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Almighty God, we thank you for the University of Cape Coast. We thank you for the leadership, management, staff, students, and all stakeholders of the university. Gracious God, your word says in the psalmist that when we commit our ways into your hands, you will direct it and bring it to an expected end. So we commit the orientation program for our fresh sandwich students into your hands. We ask that may you make it a success. We ask for your presence, and we thank you for an answered prayer. This we pray in the name of Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend. You are welcome once again to the University of Cape Coast. This is the new examination center. We are here for a one-day orientation for all fresh sandwich students, undergraduate and postgraduate students. Before we begin with our presentations this morning, let me take the opportunity to introduce dignitaries who are here in our midst this morning to support us with our orientation program. We are very privileged to have the acting registrar of the University of Cape Coast in our midst, and he is in the person of Mr. Ebenezer Agri. Sitting next to him is the Dean of Students, Professor Daniel Apak. Dr. Samuel Asabil is the Vice Dean of Students. Mr. Eugene Hesse is the College Registrar for the College of Health and Allied Sciences. Reverend Dr. Patrick Kwampa, who gave us the opening prayer, is the head of the chaplaincy unit. Dr. Ataye Boasapon is the College Registrar for the College of Education Studies. Reverend Ignatius P.K. Otibu is the head of Council Secretariat. Dr. Christopher Yakwa is the head of the Department of Math and ICT Education. Mr. Kweku Ahin is the faculty officer of the Faculty of Educational Foundations. Okay. Professor Stephen Dofia is the hall master for Kesley Hayford Hall. Okay, so Miss Araba Baden, she's the assistant registrar at the affiliation office. Mrs. Araba Duku Coleman is a junior assistant registrar. Mrs. Linda Anson, also a junior assistant registrar. I can see some other members joining us. In due course, they will all be introduced. Thank you. To begin with our presentations this morning, we are very privileged to have the acting registrar of the University of Cape Coast to welcome us. Shall we invite him with a round of applause?
Well, thank you, Madam, and for ushering us all into this program. Colleagues, Prof. Chair, and colleagues who are here present, distinguished faculty, if any is present, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, and more importantly, our cherished and dear students. Good morning. Oh, I didn't hear the response. Some have been eating this morning, I think so. Okay, good morning. Okay, now the breakfast is working. And a very warm welcome to the University of Cape Coast. We take pride in all humility to be the University of Competitive Choice, the number one in Ghana, in West Africa, and 7th. These are positions that we hold so dear because we work for it. And God being so good, he graciously grants these unto us. It gives me immense pleasure to greet you all as you embark on one of the most exciting and transformative journeys of your lives. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter, one filled or will be filled with opportunities, challenges, growth, and in the pursuit of knowledge. You have worked hard, let me admit, to be here. So therefore, I congratulate you all for working hard and gaining admissions to be here. As the acting registrar of the university, I am particularly proud and humbled to be here to address you today, knowing that you represent a future that Mother Ghana would be proud of, a future that Mother Ghana could look up to and say, these are the ones who will lift me higher and higher, where we, the present generation, have failed. You are joining a community that is committed to academic excellence, know that, innovation, and the holistic development of every student. So note it, every student that gets into this university, you will be taken care of. Our faculty, staff, and administration are all here to support you throughout this journey, ensuring that your experience at the University of Cape Coast is both enriching and fulfilling. Your time here will be filled with new positive experiences, both academic and personal. You have a responsibility in this also, so don't shift the blame only onto us. You have a yeoman's job to ensure that your experience is positive, both personal and academic. You will have the chance to explore new subjects, discover your passions, and challenge your thinking. You will meet people from diverse backgrounds, each bringing their unique perspectives and experiences. It is through this diversity that we all learn and grow. And I encourage you to take full advantage of the opportunities for collaborative learning that this university would offer you. While the road ahead may sometimes be daunting, remember that you are not alone. Remember that you have a creator who made you. Remember, he is ever-present help in time of need. Remember that he gives willingly to all who ask. So in difficult times, call upon your Maker to assist you to go through. The university has a wide range of resources to help you navigate this journey. Our academic advisors, counselors, and support staff are all here to assist you with any challenge you may face. Whether you need help with your studies, guidance, or career path, someone is there to help you, unless you don't ask and you carry the burden alone. And when you weep, weep for yourself. For us, we are here to help. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our doors are open. And let me add, when our doors are open, it is not for silver and gold. Okay? Our doors are open. We will show you the path and we encourage you to move on. In addition to academics, I urge you to get involved in the various extracurricular activities available on campus. Students' organizations, clubs, sports teams, and community service are all a number of opportunities available. Shine your eyes and take advantage and contribute to your quota. Don't come and pass through the system. Let the system also pass through you. And the system can only pass through you only when you take advantage of these. The orientation program, I must say, has been carefully designed to help you. Postgraduate students, do not assume that I was once here. It's very possible that when you were here, some policies were not there. Now we have them. So take active part in this. In the next few hours, you will learn about the university policies we hold that year, procedures, and expectations. We will not bend any of them for you. Our stakes are high, and the university will learn and work with you to achieve it. You will also have the chance to meet your fellow students, faculty, and other university staff who play a significant role in your time here. I encourage you to take down notes, jot down key things, ask questions that should be asked so that you'll be a better person in the few weeks you'll be spending with us. As you embark on this academic journey, I also want to remind you of the importance of honesty, integrity, and responsibility. At the University of Cape Coast, we uphold the highest standards of academic honesty and ethical behavior. Your conduct, both inside and outside the lecture hall, should reflect the values of respect, fairness, and integrity. We do not discriminate against any Grace, Joyce, or Jacqueline, or Paul, Dick, or Harry. Once the person is a human being, has dignity, as the Constitution provides for us, respect it. You may disagree, but respect he or she. These principles not only crucial to your success here at the university, but will also serve you well in your future careers and personal life. We are preparing you and encouraging you to become better citizens of Mother Ghana. Let me remind you of our core values. At the end of your journey here, ask yourself these questions. To what extent have I imbibed these values? 1 is excellence. 2 is empowerment. 3, equal opportunities that were made available to you. Ethical behavior and environmental consciousness. Pick the last one, for example. As long as you continue to litter your halls of residence, your lecture rooms, you are failing in this value. Environmentally, be conscious and make sure you keep where you find yourself clean. In conclusion, I want to reiterate that you are now part of this loving community that is here both to support you, challenge you, and help you to grow. Your time here will be what you make of it. So I encourage you to be curious, take initiatives, and make the most of the opportunities that come your way. I am confident that each of you has the potential to achieve greater things than we have achieved. And I look forward to seeing the many of you here at your graduation. God so help us. Once again, remember that you are now part of the #1 university in Ghana, #1 university in West Africa, the 7th on this African continent, and you are part of this University of Competitive Joys. I wish you all the very best as you begin your exciting chapter and journey. May your time here be fulfilled with success, growth, and unforgettable memories. To this, I say, you are welcome.
A better round of applause for the acting registrar. Okay, so if you just joined us, we had the welcome address from the acting registrar of the University of Cape Coast in the person of Mr. Ebenezer Agri. It is now time for us to zoom into our presentations for the day, but before we do that, let me take the opportunity to introduce some more members who have joined us. Major Retired Kofi Bar Bentum is the Director of the Directorate of Public Affairs. Mr. Isaac Adum Kunedu is the Director of Human Resource. Mr. Nasser Ente is the Senior Assistant Registrar at the Documentation and Information Section. Okay. Mr. John Linselyen is the Senior Assistant Registrar at the School of Graduate Studies. Dr. Adeboatin Yedujemfi is the Hall Master for Valco Trust Hall. Professor Samuel Kwekweje is the Vice Dean at the School of Business. Mr. Nelson Bokete Kofi is a Junior Assistant Registrar. And Mrs. Emily Alice Dazi Ochri is a Faculty Officer for the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences Education. To begin with our presentations this morning, we are privileged to have the Dean of Students to take us through regulations for junior members. And by junior members, we refer to all students of the University of Cape Coast. Shall we welcome him to do us the honors?
The acting registrar permits me to stand on the already established protocol so that we don't waste time. I want to also congratulate you for your admission into this university. Our acting registrar has made it clear to us that we are students of the University of Competitive Choice, the #1 university in Ghana. Others are contesting us seriously. They say we are not #1, but we are #1 because the best ranked institution in the world when it comes to universities has ranked us the times higher. Ranking body in the world says UCC is the #1. And so we are #1, whether they like it or not. So congratulations on your admission to this university. You were just informed that you are junior members of the university. When we say a junior member of the university, what do we mean? We are talking about a student of the university. You are students. You went through a process of admission. You were given admission. You have paid. You are here. A junior member of the university, you are governed by statutes and all policies, rules, and regulations that are issued by the University Council, Academic Board, the Vice Chancellor, the Dean of Students, Hall Masters, and any other university authority. This is important, and I pray we are paying attention as junior members. I want to quickly take you through the overview of the Office of the Dean of Students. That is my office. The ODS is responsible for the welfare of all junior members in relation to academic, residential, and social matters. Our mandate particularly looks at accommodation of students in the halls of residence, chaplaincy services, guidance and counseling services, sports and recreation activities, intra-university, inter-university, and international student competitions, students' governing bodies, organizations, clubs, and societies. As an office, in the unfortunate incident where we lose a student, we don't hope for, but it's a human institution. In such circumstances, the office also, on behalf of management, supports such bereaved families. Now, why are there regulations for junior members? There are regulations that are formulated for junior members to govern our conduct. throughout our stay in the university. These rules are available to protect and safeguard the environment in which you find yourself now, thereby contributing to the well-being of the university's community. The jurisdiction of these regulations, in fact, we get our regulations for you people, junior members, from the university statutes. We also have the students' handbook. Copies will be given to you pretty soon when we are having our matriculation. You will get copies of this student handbook. We also have academic programs, policies, and regulations. In our presentations, the Dean of Graduate School will be here. We'll take you through some of these programs, policies, and regulations for graduate students. Now, these regulations apply to all students, all junior members of the university. We have regular, distance, and sandwich mode students. We have undergraduate and graduate students. And all affiliated students of the university. These regulations affect them. We are also talking about the behaviors that take place on campus, university sports, events, and off-campus activities. Now, we should remember that so long as you are a junior member, your conduct in and outside the university reflects the image or will affect the image of the university. So we will hold you accountable. Don't say, oh, when I'm in the house, I can do anything. For example, if you go and misconduct, you go and rape somebody. So long as you are our student, the university will not take kindly to it. So these regulations, so long as we are junior members, our behaviors in and out of the university should be such that we do not conduct ourselves in a way that will affect the image of the university. So these regulations affect us even when we are not on campus, so long as we are students. These regulations include but not limited to our code of dressing, the way we dress, abatement or aiding or conspiring to cause an offense, dissemination and spread of false information, stalking, demonstrations, rallies, assemblies, processions, what we call DRAP, noise on campus, in fact, excessive noise on campus, smoking, and the consumption of alcoholic drinks. You can't go and take your Alombo Bitters bottle and go and sit in the hall of residence, for example, and then be hitting your shots. So long as you are a junior member, the university frowns on such. The use of narcotics, improper handling of university property. You are going to be in our house of residence. We expect that the university's property, you will handle them properly. Ban on water body activities. Those of us who like going to the beaches. The university says it is risky, so no, don't go there. Because so long as you are a junior member and you are here, we are responsible for your safety. Pasting of posters and handbills at unauthorized places, particularly in this era of campaigning, whether it is possible or resetting Ghana or whatever, we don't expect you to go flooding the university campus with posters. Some of you are members who are serving some political interest. So please, let us take note. Subletting of rooms in our halls of residence. Our hall masters are here. We don't expect that if we give you request for a room in the hall of residence and you are given a room, you decide to give it out to somebody. That is not allowed. Issues of sexual harassment. Your absence from the university during the semester. We expect that so long as you come for your face-to-face, your movement must be regulated. If for any reason you need to go out of campus during the semester, you ought to get permission or inform the authorities before you go so that we know where you are. Being insubordinate to university, authority. Some of us, our language is so insulting. Please, we should use language that is not insulting when we are addressing any university authority on campus. We should not also indulge in antisocial activities or behavior such as sodomy and nudity. These days, pornography and all those things are part. We have to avoid that. And we should also ensure we engage in activities while we are in residence or outside residence, which will not bring the name of the university into disrepute. In fact, I have just stated that. I said, if you go out there and say, oh, I am at home, I am on holidays, I can go and do this, University of Cape Coast will still sanction you, although you are at home, because you are going to, your behavior there will reflect or affect our image, and so we'll still sanction you. In fact, even when you finish, you are an ambassador. Your certificate will be awarded. And university can withdraw that certificate too. Yes. If you conduct yourself in a way that will bring your university's name into disrepute, they will withdraw their certificate because you can't embarrass them. So please, let's take note. Our conduct in and outside campus, we should be very careful. Now, our offenses, they come with sanctions. So I'll give you a few. For example, when you smoke, and we get to, the first thing we'll do is that we will expel you from the building. We will caution you. And if you persist, we will suspend. If you persist, you can be dismissed though. Sexual harassment. You will be warned. You will be rusticated. Rustication means we'll tell you, okay, go home. Your colleagues will move ahead. You will come back maybe after 1 year, 1 semester to continue. You can also be dismissed depending on the gravity and your continuous indulgence. When you stalk somebody, the sanction, rustication, and dismissal. Drop demonstrations, rallies, assemblies, and processions. Suspension or rustication, and if you persist, dismissal. If you sublet your room, you will be rusticated for 2 semesters. You have to go and look for your accommodation. I'm not sure we want that. Okay, so as fresh junior members, it is important we talk of our channels of communication. How do we get our grievances redressed? If that challenge is a residential issue, we expect that you go to your hall master. We also have our senior hall tutors who assist our hall masters. We also have our deputy senior hall tutors, or our hall, we call them hall managers and managesses. We also have our tutors in the halls. Please go to these people with your problems. When you have challenges that are residential in nature, go to them. Do not jump to call your husband or your wife, or your brother, who is the district chief executive. Or no, we expect that you will exhaust these internal channels before you go out to look for help. Academic issues. You have your heads of department. Please go to your head of department. You have your academic counselors, go to them. When you feel you are sexually harassed, we have a center for research, a gender research, advocacy and development on campus. I'm sure in the course of the presentations, you will get the details. Also, report, the university has a sexual harassment committee. I'm sure contacts of this committee will be made available. You can report. If you are in the hall, you can even report these matters to your hall authority. Issues about security, we have a security section. They will take you through. They will give you some details and some phone numbers. Now, my office is there, the office of the Dean of Students. You can come there if you have challenges. Our doors are opened. In conclusion, I will say that you are in this university primarily to study, and it forms the basis of whatever you do. I will urge you to comply with all the regulations that are spelled out to avoid being sanctioned. Be diligent and follow your passion with dedication and commitment. Do not copy or follow people blindly. Thank you so much.
That was the Dean of Students, Professor Daniel Apak, taking us through regulations for junior members. I just want to remind us there will be a time for questions. So let's note down all our questions as we go through the presentations. When it's time for questions, we will allow for the first set to be done based on all the presentations that have been done. We'll move on to our next presentation on academic programs, policies and regulations for graduate studies. We have in our midst Professor Sarah Dakwa, who is the Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, to take us through the presentation.
Thank you, Efia. Okay, so registrar or other protocol observed. Yeah, so I'll take you briefly through the overview of the School of Graduate Studies. The Graduate Studies is made up of, it's under a board of School of Graduate Studies, which is made up of all vice deans in the various faculties and schools. And it's made up of the dean, myself, my vice dean, Professor Rufino Zugli of the chemistry department, senior administrative assistant registrar in the person of Mr. Yen, John Yen, and 16 other support staff. So we have an accountant and we have the PAAs, etc., who work with us. What we do is we coordinate all graduate programs. We don't have our own students. The students we have belong to the various departments, schools and faculties and colleges. And so that is what we do. We coordinate all the programs from all the various places. And beyond that, we see to admissions, the policies, the structures, etc. Now that you are here, I believe you've gone through the admissions process already. You applied, and we looked through your documents to see whether you qualify. We sent it to the department, and they inform us whether they will take you or not. And then we give you the admission letter. Beyond this, now you are here. Those who are on research programs, you will have to ensure that we have to ensure that your supervision of your thesis goes very well. So we'll request the department to nominate an examiner, a supervisor, if it's MPhil 1, if it's PhD 2 supervisors, and then principal and co, and then we write to them, we appoint them, and then we'll see you through the process. At this point, I'll say that most of the time when students come, some, very few, not a lot, when they are assigned supervisors and they don't get on too well, they are afraid to come and talk about it. Our doors are always opened. You can come. It's normal that sometimes students, it's not always the supervisors who are at fault. Sometimes you get difficult students who are not willing to change anything you ask them to change. And so when you have issues, feel free, talk to your HOD, and then you come to us. We don't want the situation where people will be changing their supervisors without the knowledge of the department. So if you want to change your supervisor, it has to go through your HOD. You talk to the HOD, you give tangible reasons why you think you need a change, and then you write through the HOD to us, and then we'll make sure that happens. And then when all the hustle and bustle is over, we will be there with you to ensure that you graduate successfully. For research students, always bear in mind that you need a 2.5 to progress. If you get a 2.0, it means you are in trouble. Learn to pay your school fees. I believe most of you have already paid. If not, please start thinking of going to pay, because the university needs the money to run the program. And then you register. Once you finish paying, you get a code, you go and register. You need to be a registered student. Please, don't be attending lectures without registration. That is not very good. Sometimes it creates problems because you write quizzes and your lecturers do not know where to put you because your name will not appear on their sheet. So please, make sure you pay their fees. It's very important. You have to register before matriculation. Matriculation closes everything, the admission. So make sure that you squeeze some money here and there. I know some have done part payments. That will not get you to register. You need a full payment. So make sure you pay, and then you can register, and register before the matriculation. And there's something that I didn't want to mention, but I believe you have all read it, right? If you don't register and we matriculate, then probably you may need a fresh admission, isn't it? Because you are not part of the students. I didn't want to talk about that, but it's important to talk about it. As graduate students, you need to register every semester. Every semester. Most of the time, especially for the research students, once they finish the coursework, they vanish. No one sees them again. They reappear 2, 3, 4 years later, and they want to submit. That is not acceptable. You have not been a student. Once you are not registered, we don't count you as a student. So make sure you register every semester. You need a 60 to pass. Undergrad was 50. Now you call yourself a graduate student, you need 60, which is a C. But I always tell students that don't just determine that you are going to get C. When you do that, you will not make your 2.5. You can calculate and see. So make sure. There may be some courses that are difficult for you. Struggle and make the C there. But those you are comfortable with, make the A's so that it can balance out. Okay? So your continuous assessment for UCC is 40. UCC is 40. I know others do 60-40, but for UCC, remember, it is 40-60. You have one chance to fail. You have just one chance. So, I mean, just don't joke with it. Don't fail. Don't fail. And for when you fail the second time, unfortunately, we would have paid the school fees. The university would have accepted it, but we cannot continue with it. Yes, please. So make sure you don't fail any course. I mentioned earlier that you need a 2.5 to progress. So when you get a 2.0, then take it that you step down and take the MEd or MA or whatever. Okay? Some students, they know that they didn't make the 2.5. But then, I don't know, sometimes it happens that the department doesn't see it. And they nominate supervisors. They go ahead, do the thesis, And when they are coming to submit, we realize that they shouldn't have even done it in the first place. When you do that, you put us in an awkward situation. You know, I'm a mother of all, but the rules must work. So make sure. When you have even 2.4, don't say that, oh, it's close to 2.5, and hide and do the thesis. We will not accept the thesis. So please take note of that too. Yes. Now that you have come to school, you are here. You can only defer your course after you've done the 2 semesters. Please, you can only defer your course. And you don't just wake up one day and say, I want to defer my course. No. It should be on health grounds, something, you know, concrete to say that you want to defer. But after 1 year, you should be able to defer, and you do that through the HOD. We always want you to communicate things to us through the departments so that both the department and graduate school knows what is going on with you. You apply through your HOD, the dean, and it comes to graduate school and we'll process it. And please, the fact that you have applied for deferment doesn't mean that you can go and rest for 10 years and show up with a thesis. Once again, we will not take it. So please, the deferment is for 1 year. Bear that in mind, 1 year. If, because of health reasons, you are not well, you let your doctor assess you, and we get a report, then we can think of probably allowing you to, you know, apply for another year. So don't defer 1 year and go and stay somewhere and show up 5 years later, we are not taking the thesis. Change of name. Change of name. We allow the ladies who get married and they want to take their husband's surname. We will allow you to change your name. And even that, you need to show the Gazette, the Ghana, you know, government authority that you have changed, and then a copy of your marriage certificate. When you do that, we'll let you do it. But for the men, since when we marry, you don't take our names, but rather we take your names. You are not allowed to change. You know, sometimes our Muslim brothers travel to Mecca, they want to come and add Alaji. It is not acceptable. Please. You are made a chief of your town. It is not acceptable. So as for the men, the certificate you bring on board, the name on that certificate, you take it throughout the program. Thank you for understanding. So I believe there won't be any question on that. Let's go on. Okay. Please let it go to the next slide. Can the slide move, please? Okay. So as we wait for the slide to move, we can talk about the policy. Now we have it online. When you go to the graduate school page, it is there. Just about 77 pages. Every morning after your morning devotion, you read 1 page. It's very important, seriously. Because you don't want a situation where something will happen and then you say you didn't know. Ignorance is no excuse, please. Most of the time, students don't read till something happens. And then we refer them to, you know, a page and they go like, I never knew. Ignorance is no excuse, seriously. And so please, every morning after your morning devotion, just read 1 page. And keep everything. I don't want you to rush through. That's why I said 1 page, so that you can remember everything there. Change of programs, please, please. We all know that different programs have their, you know, qualifications. Sometimes people know that as for finance and logistics or whatever, I'm just mentioning something, okay? Then they know if I take this grade, I will not get it. Then they will go and take a lower one. Immediately they get here, they show up at graduate school saying, I want to change my program. Please, please, let's avoid that. Okay, if genuinely you have to change the program, you have to do it quickly. You don't want to go and pay school fees for one program because the fees vary and come and you want a program that has a higher fee, if even you want to pay the difference, we do not agree. We do not accept that. So if you have to change early. For the non-research, we say 2.0, you are okay. But you never know the future. You sleep one day, you wake up and you want to, further your education. There are top-up programs that you come and do the research components. And so because of that, don't be looking at just making the 2.0 to leave. Make sure you get the 2.5. Because if you wake up one day and you want to, further your education, if you have a 2.0, although you have the MA, the MEd, we are not going to accept you for the thesis. So please, work hard, okay? And then you should also obtain not more than 1 C. Not more than 1 C. And you should have B or better, okay, in research methods. All these are qualifications. So yes, you can go out and graduate with 2.0, but if you have to look beyond today, then you want to work hard and put down the marks for a top-up or something. When you come for the research too, you need to take a course in academic writing, because all the research students do that. And you should try hard, to get at least a B. When you get those B's and A's, then we know that the supervisors will not suffer too much reading your thesis as you write them. So study hard and make it. You need to conduct a directed reading on methodology that you relate to your area of research, and make a presentation within the first year. So these are things that you can do if even you have come here for a non-research program. Know that there's a future. You can do a top-up and move on. Okay, so as we wait for the slide to move, there's also a document, which is thesis writing, dissertation, project thesis writing, which is just a token. Once you get to the graduate school, which is located right opposite to the place from here, just walk there and find out. You can come there and get a copy. That's the way graduate school raise funds. It's just a token. So when you'll be surprised the amount they will tell you. I don't want to mention it here. And then for the non-research people who want to do their graduate program, you present a 10 to 15 page proposal that must be accepted and must be scored, B or better. And by the 3rd semester, you should be registering for your thesis. It's doable sometimes, especially for those who work. When you cannot get long periods, you just come and do one step. And then you get another opportunity, you just come and continue. So that can be done. That can be done. Can we move on, please? Thank you. Okay. We give opportunity to students who excel. You see, excellence. So if you get a CGPA of 3.5 and above in your master's coursework, we can give you the opportunity after the coursework to continue straight to the PhD. But once again, you shouldn't have obtained more than 1 C in your coursework. B plus or better in the research methods. And you should have taken and passed very well B or B plus in academic writing. When we do that, we'll allow you. And sometimes students think it's automatic. No, it's not. You need to apply for it. And you apply through your department. They have to assess your proposal. They have to talk to you. You make a presentation. They want to see whether you are really, everyone is a PhD, I'm just joking. Then, when all these things are okay, then the department will send us the results, showing that, yes, you've done the presentation, yes, it has been assessed, yes, you have above this, and you qualify for the PhD. So if you make 3.5 and above, and you think, oh, let me go straight to the PhD, you initiate the process from your department, and then we can go on. So you also have the guided reading. You make the presentation, as I mentioned. Your proposal should be 20 to 25 pages, and you should be able to defend it successfully with a B plus or better. Once you meet all these conditions and they send it to us, we'll process it and you can start your thesis for the PhD. I've spoken about the guidelines for preparing and presenting project work already. Just move to the graduate school and ask the accountants. It's just a token. So you help build graduate school, okay? And then the academic policies are already online that you'll be reading one after your morning devotion. And for our Muslim sisters and brothers, after your 4 a.m. prayers, you read one page. We have other documents on the website that you can also flip through. You'll get some information that will help you. Just to ensure that in case you don't read the policies, there are some things you should never forget. Your 2.5 or better, you have to pass all your, if even they said dissertation, you have to pass it. Before you can even submit your thesis, you need to do financial clearance. If you pay your fees and it's left with 20%, 20 CDs, they will not clear you, please. So when you pay, but if it's above and the university owes you, they will clear you quick. So make sure you pay the right amount so that you'll be cleared. And you have to be in good standing. Beyond your academic work, you need to be of good behavior. Good standing. Although you're in graduate school, I want to believe that the graduate students don't join all the wahala between the halls. Because before we take your work, you have to do that. We have to clear you that way too. So we encourage all of you at this point to read, know the rules, follow them. And at this point, I would like to say thank you for choosing UCC. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof, for the presentation. So the presentation that Prof just did was for graduate students. If you are an undergraduate student, it doesn't apply to you. Maybe you can only be inspired to come back after your undergraduate studies for a graduate degree program. We'll zoom into our next presentation, and as I said earlier on, there'll be time for questions and answers. So let's take note of our questions. When it's time, we would take them from you. Our next presentation is on gender and sexual harassment. And this morning we have Dr. Yvonne Ami Ejaklo, who is the coordinator for advocacy at the Center for Gender Research, Advocacy, and Documentation, to do the presentation for us. Shall we welcome her with a round of applause?
Good morning. So again, my name is Yvonne Doji Ami Ejaklo. I'm the I'm the coordinator for advocacy and then outreach at the Center for Gender Research, Advocacy and Documentation, UCC. So I want to welcome everybody. You're welcome. If you don't know where we are located, have you seen this particular building? We are the last floor. So when you're looking for SEGRAD, we're actually there. So I want to give you a little information about us. Okay, so we are a center, so we are not a teaching center. We are actually a non-teaching center within the university. And our vision is actually to create a safe, creative, and inclusive space where gender and women's rights are fully protected. And one of our core values is to ensure that we create a gender equal and inclusive learning and work environment. And one of the things that we do as advocacy, as part of our advocacy, is to arrange students with campus tidbit. And by this, we are talking about orienting you as fresh students into our environment. And one of our building block activity is to ensure that we give you a better understanding on what building a very healthy and trustworthy relationship. Sorry. And we give you these tidbits because we want to help you navigate university campus life successfully and get the best out of it. And because of that, SEGRAD is actually a safe space. A safe space for all of us, which means that any problem you have, whether it is mental, emotional, relationship, whatever it is, we are there to actually serve you. So today we've been called upon to actually talk to you about gender and sexual harassment. But before we zoom into that, it is very important for us to understand the concepts of gender so that at the end of the day we don't misconstrue what gender is. We are able to separate gender from sex. So we are here to orient you to understand gender so that you know the role gender play as part of what our human identity, because it is often what misunderstood, and that can actually lead to what we call stigmatization. So what is gender? Gender is actually a socially or culturally defined set of rules. And these could be made up of roles, they can be made up of rights, responsibilities, and even accepted behavior associated with being a male or a female. So by that we mean that by sex is what? A biological what? Makeup. And gender is a socially constructed what? Role for you. What it means is that if you're a Ghanaian and you were born genetically as a male, there's nothing you can do about that. You can't change that. It is a biological what? Fact. It means that even if you meet somebody who is from Japan, that person is also a biological male, that person is also what? Genetically what? A male, and you cannot actually change that fact. But when it comes to gender, it means that in the cultural, traditional setting of Ghana, if you're a man, the role that you're supposed to play or societal expectation of you as a male would be different from the cultural, traditional setup expectation of a man who is from another country. For example, that of Japan that I was talking to you about earlier on. And because of this, these definitions for gender, since it's a cultural definition, it ends up resulting in certain rules and expectations in society. And this actually can result in what we call power relations between and amongst girls and women, boys, and then that of men. And of course, just as I stated earlier on, it varies across what? Societies. And because they vary, it leads to what we call gender stereotypes. What it means is that society has set rules and regulations and the expectation of you as a man or what? As a woman. And because of that, you have certain beliefs, okay, about a specific man or a specific woman, depending on that person's what? Gender identity. So gender stereotypes are literally beliefs about characteristics, behaviors, roles, attributes that are typically associated with what? Individuals based on what? Their gender. So for example, if you're a man in Ghana, you're expected to Gina Online, so I don't know how to say, but you're supposed to So, and aside that, you are supposed to be responsible for the house, take care of your wife, your children, be courageous, be brave, be aggressive, be strong, be logical, be all that. It's a societal what? Expectation. And then even that connotes with even how you are supposed to look like. So you realize that some men will start going to the gym just so that they can get that muscular feature, so that they can stand out and meet their societal expectations. And that of women too as well. You are supposed to be curvy and all that. You are supposed to be emotional. You are supposed to be soft. You are supposed to be calm. You are supposed to be all that. But the question is, what if you are a woman and you don't have all the curves? Or what if you're a man and you are not what? Muscular. What happens to you? So all these things, as I stated earlier on, leads to what we call stereotypes. So for example, we have examples of the stereotypes that we have already mentioned, that men are strong and aggressive, and then women are supposed to be what? Emotionally what? Sensitive and what? Nurturing. But the question at the end of the day is that what these stereotypes do to us at the end of the day is that they reinforce traditional notions of masculinity and femininity. And this can even lead to dictating how an individual should even look, how the individual should act and even interact, okay, based on what? The agenda. So it means that the moment you start acting otherwise, you are not you may be considered as even a deviant in the society. So as I've been told earlier on, I'm just giving you a little intro on the concept of gender. Then we have to zoom in. I'm zooming in into sexual harassment. But before we do so, it is very important for us to go through relationship. We all know how relationship is important to all of us. Even God himself sees how important relationship is. So that's why he keeps on establishing contact with us. So it means that relationships are literally what? Key what? They play key role in our society. But it is also very important for us to understand that most of the issues that stem out from society are through what? Relationship. And as we are on campus, it is very important for us to know that we are going to meet so many people, and we are supposed to ensure that what? We leave them in a cordial what? Manner. Some of you may have roommates, some of you may live alone. Of course, we are all going to have what? Course-mates and the rest. It is very important for us to be what? Very courteous. Why? Because we are all coming from different backgrounds. You may be an Ever and you go and meet somebody who is not an Ever in your room as a roommate, or you may even have course mates and then you are the only girl person amongst them. That is how beautiful life is. But it is very important for you to extend courtesy to all these people. You have to be considerate if you are sharing your room with another person, so that when you are allowing another person to the room, you consider the other person, because at the end of the day, you need to be on a very good note with the person, very good relationship with the person, that is. And then it is also very important for us to take responsibilities for our actions. Some of us, we are really good at blaming people for whatever they do, even if it is our fault. We find a way to emotionally blackmail the other person. So please try as much as possible. It is one of the things that we always teach people. Take responsibilities for your actions. I did this. I know it is wrong. I'm sorry. It will not happen again. Now let's zoom in into what we will call romantic relationship. That is where that a lot of what the sexual harassment issues and cases come from to our center. So relationship, of course, for it to be healthy and for it to be bad, it actually depends on the kind of relationship you have actually what? You have actually established. So when a relationship is actually healthy, it is actually one that has a very supportive connection between what? Two people. And by supportive connection, we are talking about very good communication, that is honest communication, there's mutual respect, there is shared commitment to each other's well-being and growth. There's what? That is a case where both individuals are actually what? Intentional about making it work, regardless of what the challenges what they are going through. But it can also turn out to be what? An unhealthy one. So for an unhealthy one, for an unhealthy relationship, for an unhealthy relationship, it is a relationship in which what? There are repeated misbehaviors, there are bad habits, the other person is, presenting or exhibiting what? Unbearable what? Characteristics to the other. But it is very important for you to know that it is through this relationship, whether it is a good one or whether it is a bad one, before you even start the relationship, it is very important for you to note these key words: the essentials, tolerables, and then the bonuses, and then what? Deal breakers. When we say something is essential, it is something that you look out for in your partner. Are you looking for somebody who is responsible? Are you looking for somebody who is kind? Are you looking for somebody who is generous, who is good looking? That is your essential. And all these are actually determined by what we call your own core value. That is your own personal belief, which can be fueled by your general etiquette or even by religion as well. Then we have those that we call tolerables. Maybe you've met the person, he meets everything that you actually would want in a partner, but you realize that maybe you wanted a tall person, but this person happens to be what? Short. Or you wanted somebody who was hairy, but unfortunately this person is what? Bald. Will you be able to tolerate that for the rest of your life? Well, it's up to you. Then we come to the bonuses. With the bonuses, you realize that you were not expecting this from the other person. For example, you are expecting it was the person's generosity, kindness, that drew you close to the person in the first place. But then after drawing closer, and then you realize that, after getting to know the person better, I realize that the person is not only what generous and kind, but the person is also very religious. That's a bonus for you, right? And then we also have the deal breakers, and those ones are actually what if a partner does, it is out. For example, cheating, or for example, you just realize that the person is stingy. No, I can't go out with a partner that is what? Stingy. It is important for us to also understand that relationships can be bad, unhealthy, it can be healthy, but usually the unhealthy one can zoom into what we call what? An abusive what? An abusive one. That is where we also come in to ensure that we sensitize you on the need for communication and then what? Consent. I would always say that communication is good. They will tell you it is the basic for all your relationship, but it's not just communication. Comprehension is also very necessary. You could talk all you want, but if your partner doesn't understand what you are saying, you are back to what? Square one. So good and clear communication is actually essential in all relationships. And healthy relationships are also about what? Knowing your values and being able to communicate them constructively. And then the ability to even communicate openly and respectfully makes your relationship more what? More healthy, right? So there's always the need for what we call consent, right? What's the meaning of consent? It is actually your willingness to, or the willingly giving what? Permission. And permission, it can be through words, it can be through action for something to actually what? Happen. And for consent to be very valid, it is very important for us to note that just the person saying that no, just the person keeping quiet doesn't mean that what? The person is saying no. We always have this adage by saying that what? Consent means what? Silence means what? Consent, right? Which is actually wrong. The fact that the person is silent doesn't mean that the person is saying, yes, I want you to kiss me, or yes, I want you to touch me, or yes, I want you to sleep with me. That is not it. Let the consent be clear. Let it be verbal, affirmative, and also enthusiastic. Please, are we okay with that? And we should also note that at any point in time, if your partner withdraws consent, it doesn't mean whether it's it doesn't matter whether it's at a point where you are climaxing or whatever it is. If your partner says no at the time, Jack, is no, please. Other than that, your partner can put you in trouble. So now we're zooming into sexual harassment. This is UCC's accepted or adopted definition for sexual harassment. It says that what? It is any unwelcomed sexual advances, request for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature, whether on a one-time basis or a series of incidents that might cause offense, humiliation, awkwardness, or embarrassment, or that might reasonably be conceived as what? Placing a condition of a sexual nature on employment, opportunity for promotion, grades, etc. So the component in there, please note that what we are talking about, what? Unwelcome sexual advances, right? It could be just once, it could be continuous, whatever nature it is important for us to note that we need to get consent from the other person before anything actually happens between two people. And because of that, I will have a question, a short question for you. Great. Is it okay to have sex with someone if the person is drunk? Please, it's a question. Please, I can hear yes, I can hear no. So, majority says what? Please, majority says what? So it is actually very, very wrong to sleep with somebody who is drunk. And sometimes the other question somebody will ask is that, what if the two of them are drunk? And they do it. So the answer to that question is a big what? Why? Because a person cannot consent if he or she is drunk or high, or if the person is threatened or even coerced, or even if the person has certain disabilities or is in a relationship of trust with the offender. I hope I've answered your question. So for the one that has two people who are drunk, it is usually when they come before the sexual harassment committee, it is usually the person who initiated the act first. Should I come again? You know, giving consent, you need to be sure that the person has an unimpaired what? Judgment. Please, are we okay? So if the two of you were drunk, after investigations, the results comes out and you realize that it is usually the person who instigated or who initiated the act first. So let's try and know the difference between these three words. We have sexual harassment, which we have actually defined already, which is any unwelcome and inappropriate conduct of a sexual nature that may end up creating what? A hostile or an intimidating environment. And then that of a sexual assault is any sexual activity in which one person has what? Does not consent to. Please, are we okay? Then the sexual abuse involves any non-consensual activity, any consensual sexual activity where one person exerts power and control over the other. So because of this, there are three key elements we need to look out for us to understand the issue of what? Sexual harassment. First, the receiver's interpretation. Sometimes you may touch somebody in a particular way and you will think that you are just being what? Friendly. And the other person or the receiver may think what? Otherwise. So that's why it is very important for us to be very careful in touching people, in playing with people in ways that is not what? Acceptable. Then it is also very important for us to also note the harasser's what intention. Just as I stated earlier on, perhaps the intention is not actually to sexually harass the person. The person might just interpret it as just being friendly with what? The other person. The person could be a friend, not necessarily what? A partner. Then finally, the other element is what the effect it could have. Just by the way you touch the person, could it create a hostile environment for the receiver or for even both of you? Now, it is also important for us to understand that sexual harassment takes two forms. One is a hostile environment, and by hostile environment, we are talking about acts that make the work or your study environment emotionally abusive by limiting your ability to even participate fully and to benefit from whatever your environment is giving you, including key activities. And then another form could be what? Sexual coercion, or what we call the quid pro quo. And this one talks about the threat of harm or promise of reward in return for what? Sex. And I'm very sure that some of us have come into contact with people who have ever experienced something like this. And then again, it is important for us to understand that sexual harassment thrives on so many things. There are so many, I'll call them fertilizers, right? To help sexual harassment mature and grow very, very well. And if we want to combat this on campus, it means that these things, we need to get rid of it. On the notions of what? Gender. Okay? Sometimes the men will tell you that, oh, the woman was not dressed decently. That was why I did what I did. But we should also understand at the end of the day that it is actually not about the dressing, it's about the intention. So then what happens to pedophiles, to those who rape babies and the rest? What is it about babies that is so attractive? So please, notions of gender, we need to get rid of it. And the issues of power relations, some people feel that, oh, because I'm a doctor and then you are a student, then I can do something to you. Or because I am your boss and you are the secretary, I can do that something for you. Please, let's try to eliminate this. Then the next one is culture of victim what? Blaming. Some of us, when something happens like that, instead of making sure that quickly we get help, we rather be condemning the people in their act. We will stand up and say that you are a woman, why did you go into his room? Or you are a woman, you know that Opel. Why were you sitting by her, by him, or whatever it is? Please, let's let go of what? The culture of what? Victim blaming. And then, of course, the issue of what? Toxic masculinity and femininity. Men can use their strength to overcome the female, and the female too can also use their seductive art to also get a man. So please, let's try as much as possible to let go of these fertilizers that what? Help to grow sexual what? Harassment, or help sexual harassment to what? Thrive. Please, I'm done, but there's one more thing I want to advise you on. That is cyber security. You are here and the internet is here. Literally, we are in the generation of ICT, and we are in the generation where AI is at work. Right? So please be very, very careful, because these are some of the tools that the harassers can actually use against you. So please, cyberbullying is actually very, very real. Cyberbullying and sexual harassment is very, very what? Very, very real. We have received reports on what we call porn revenge. How many of you have heard of porn revenge? You're in a relationship with a lady, and then you realize that you've been taking pictures, and then the moment you break up, one person wants to seek revenge on the other, so you just release everything online just to punish the other person. Please, because of that, please be mindful. And we always will warn you against this, because the internet will never forget. The internet, anything you post there would never ever what? Forget. It will never be forgotten. So please make sure that whatever you put there, be mindful of the images and the information you share. And even the people you even entertain on social media. Some of us might have even encountered some of the Sakawa boys and the rest on social media and the rest. And then even Be mindful of who you trust and who you even leave your electronic gadgets with. Currently, you're on campus. Everywhere there's Wi-Fi, and people can easily zoom into your personal information and use it against you. So please take very good care of yourself. This place is the University of Cape Coast. You'll still remain the #1 university in Ghana, and we are here to ensure that you have a very safe space where you are right now to enable you what? Thrive and benefit from the key activities within the university. Kindly take care of yourselves. We are SEGRAD, and we have available resources for you. If you experience any of these things, we are here within campus. That's our phone number and our location. Within campus, these are the places you could easily go and seek for what? Help. And off campus too, these are the places you can actually what? Go and seek help. So welcome again. We are SEGRAD and we are ready to serve you. Thank you.
That was the presentation on gender and sexual harassment. A better round of applause for Dr. Ejaklu. I'm hoping that you are noting down your questions, and then when it is time, we would take them. It is now time for us to listen to a presentation on registration issues. And I'm sure some of us might have registered already, some are yet to. We'll go through the next presentation to direct us as to how we can register, and then if we are encountering any challenges, how these challenges can be addressed. I'll invite Mr. Obed Barnes from the MIS session to take us through the presentation.
Good morning. Good. I guess you've all received our index numbers. I guess you've all received it. Oh, okay. So those who are yet to receive, maybe your telephone number wasn't correct or something, you could come here where you printed out your letter, your admission letter. admissionlist.ucc.edu.gh. So that's the page. Okay. Beneath it, there's a link called Registration Number Finder. Okay. So when you click on it, when you click on it, it will give you a form where you enter your reference number, date of birth, and what have you. Then we will send you a text message of your registration number and your password. Please, is that clear? Good. So now let's zoom to how can we get our courses registered for the semester. Good. So now, this is the university's portal. So those who received the test came with your student registration number and a password. Okay? And beneath the password, there was a link. There was a link. Now, when you click on the link, this is what you're going to see. Okay? That will ask for your registration number that was sent to you and a password that was sent to you. So after you've logged in, you enter your next number and your password. Then you click on the login. You see a lot of tabs on your right-hand side, on your left-hand side. So the key one here today is the registration. The other tabs, but I'll go through that one. So the key thing here is the registration for now. So before you come here for the registration, I wish you would have contacted your department to find out the courses you'll be doing for this period. Okay? So that in case when you go online and the courses there are not the same as what they told you, you could quickly go back and make those corrections with the department. So after you click on registration, you will see these two buttons. There's red and there's blue. The blue is to tell you after registration, you can click to print what you've registered. And the red button is to start the registration process itself. So when you click on the red button, it will take you to a page where you have to select your elective area. So if you are doing nursing, your elective area will be nursing. If you are doing human resource, your elective area will be human resource. So you select the elective area and you submit the elective area. So now, after submitting, you will see the courses that you're supposed to do for the semester, together with the credit hours. So after you've selected the elective area, you submit it. After submitting, you will see these courses. Now, these courses in blue means that they are compulsory. All courses in blue test means that they are compulsory and you have to take them for the semester. So after seeing the courses in blue, you have to click on the button, as in click to register compulsory courses. Now, if you don't do that, the courses have not been registered. If you don't click on that button, the courses have not been registered yet. So after the registration, after you click on the button, you will see a green tick beside each course. You will see a green tick beside each course. Once you see the green tick, it means that that particular course has been registered successfully. So now the next thing is you click on the blue button again to print the courses that you've registered. So this is a sample printout of a course that has been registered. And afterwards, you can either print a hard copy and keep it, or save a soft copy onto your email or something. At that moment, registration is complete. So that is registration. Now, there are other tabs as well. There are other tabs as well, like personal details. So most of us, we went to the cafe for the cafe attendant to fill the form for us. So please take your time, go through your personal details on your portal, especially your date of birth, your name arrangement, and make sure that they are what? They are correct. If the telephone number there is not correct, you can quickly update the telephone number. You can update your hometown, update your address, but you can't update your name and your date of birth. If you have issues, you can see Directorate Academics and with evidence, and they will change or do the update for you. Now, after registration, the next thing will be result. So if you don't register, you don't expect to see results. Okay? So once the results are out, you go to statement of results in your portal. When you click on it, the courses that you registered will be seen there, and the grade with it would show. Now, before the semester ends, there's a button called Assess Lecturers. All the lecturers that taught you within the sandwich period, you have to come online here and assess every single lecturer that taught you. Okay? So when that time is up, we will notify you. You come to the portal and do what? And assess those lecturers before you can even see your result. So until that activity is done, you can't see your statement of results. Thank you.
Hello. Right, that takes us to our next presentation on academic programs, policies and regulations for undergraduate studies. I would invite Mr. Mohammed Abdullahi to take us through the presentation.
Thank you, Efra. Good morning. Good morning to the high table. Good morning to my seniors and my colleagues. Any protocols already established, I wish to stand on them. You are welcome. Oh, please, you are welcome. Okay, Chairman. My name is Mohammed Najmuddin Abdullahi, Student Record Section of Directorate of Academic Affairs. I'll run you through this one. The guy has given me more time, so I can feel free and enjoy my time. Yes. We had a deal, so he gave me the time. Okay, so I'll be speaking on academic policies in the university. Now, in every organization you go, this is the outline anyway. I thought the first slide would have come. In every organization you go, most of you are workers, and you know about policies already. I know friends who are teachers, who are, if you go to any organization, the first thing that you look out for should be the policies of the organization. And in the university, everything you do must be guided by what? Policy. Segrad mentioned this, everybody mentioned this. Prof spoke about graduate policies. I think he's taking part of my work. I thank her for that. And Obed also spoke about some. So I'll run you through my slides. We'll start with guiding philosophy of education. In UCC, we have guiding philosophy of education. Everywhere you go, there's some philosophy that guides our education, as far as that place an academic institution. And I highlighted the first three because those ones are dear to my heart, and I'm sure they'll be dear to your heart. The first one says what? We respond to your needs. So whether sexual harassment, whether food, whether academic, whether farms, anything, we respond to your what? Needs. Currently, we are responding to your needs. We are trying to give you an orientation about the whole university so that you can what? Navigate the system very well. We are expected to be what? Responsible. As students, as staff, so that we can work well and get you through your academic journey in the university. And of course, the last one of my lecturers told me this some time ago, that if you come to UCC, the questions are not just straightforward questions. They are what? Applications. So if you have learned about the law of Newton, they are not asking you to quote it. They are asking you to what? Apply. So in this university, it's part of our guiding philosophy. We can take care of the rest later. Charlie, I have only 10 minutes. So. Okay. Now, in this university, I told you we have everything. And we have offices for everything, unless you don't know. And if you don't know, you can ask. If you want to marry, there are offices that will help you marry. So we have directorates in the university. And there's one directorate that takes care of all academic issues. And that's the Directorate of Academic Affairs. What do? Broadly, we implement two things. We implement the policies, and then we implement the software that is used to what? Manage the policies. So all the things Obed talked about. You see, Obed spoke about software. Okay, we call it University of Cape Coast Online Student Information Systems. And he told you if you have problems, you should come to academic affairs. Is that not it? So we implement the policies, we implement the software, and the directorate regulates the activities of some particular sections. And these are the sections that you come to when you have issues. So let's have those sections. This is my boss. In fact, I'm doing this work on behalf of my boss. And this is the director of academic affairs. Please let them see him. You see the wig on the head? So every document that will come to us, we'll apply the law on the document. So if you bring 419 documents, we'll meet you there. Okay, so let's move on. Now, we have 7 offices managing your academic journey. And I'll take you through the offices. You are already here. It means you have gone past the first one, right? The admission section. You have gotten your admission. It's the same section that will give you your transcript. The same section that will give you your proficiencies. The same section that will give you your detailed results. The same section that will give you anything related. There are nurses here, right? I know when you finish here, you run away. So the documents, the verification issues, the documents that you work on to link up with outside schools, this office takes care of that. It's called the admissions section. Then we have student record section. They say after registration, you should come there. So all issues on registration, assessment, results, data, examination officers, that office takes care of that. Unfortunately, that's where I am. And then teaching and examination section. So after admission, getting your records, what do? You go for teaching and exams. There's a section that coordinates that. Certification and verification. When you write exams, you get results. Is that not it? And then you are here for certificate. So there's an office that will certify you. I always tease him in the office. I say, hey, the head is called Uncle Prosper. So I say, you are here to certify human beings. He says if he doesn't certify you, you can't graduate. Okay? Now, after graduation, you will go and work somewhere. If the people don't trust your certificate, they will write to us to verify what you submitted to them. And I always give this example. There was a guy, they wrote to us to verify one certificate. The guy used a fake certificate to work at judicial service. Can you imagine? Very brave. Fake certificate, and he was working at judicial service. You won't go to some village and then survive. You are in Accra. So if you do 419 and go, they will write to us to verify, and we will verify and tell them that you are not correct. But all of you are correct. So then we have this new office. We call it Industrial Liaison Office. I think it's the #1 in the country, right? Oh, who said no? I'm not sure there's any university with this office. It's a new office. You see, we are trying to enhance academic and industry relationship. So all the students, those who are older, you remember attachment? Good. Now we call it internship. It's just like watchman to security. So now we call it internship. All the students undergo some form of internship in industry. So this office was established to coordinate that in the university. We have a platform. It's called internship.ucc.edu.gh, where the students go online and then indicate the companies they want to work. Then we issue letters to them and then take it to the companies. We already have MOUs with all these organizations. Oh, you won't clap for us. Then we have Institutional Affiliation Office. And that's where he's coming from. All these training institutions, teacher training, health, health training institutions. And now the health ones, we have divided them. Some are for UCC, some are for even the teacher training colleges. We mentor them. There are some young universities or some, can I use the young, my boss, that we mentor. There are private universities that are affiliated to UCC. This office is in charge of all those mentoring processes. And then we have programs accreditation. Every program you do here is accredited by a body called GTEC. You know one thing, if you come and do a program that is not accredited, tomorrow when you are going to stand for MP, I may be the first one to come and write that this guy, he did programs that were not accredited. But as for UCC, we always have programs that are accredited. It's the other places that sometimes they flout the rules. Okay. So we work with you. You are called junior members or students. And then we work with some people. They are called registration and examination officers. They are between you and I, or between you and the Directorate of Academic Affairs. Anytime you have registration and examination issues, they are the first people you have to go to. They are in your department. Every department has a department registration examination officer. Even the faculties, we have faculty ones. So please, look for them, and they are ready to serve you. We serve the university community. We serve GTech on accreditation and then data issues. Every year, they write to us to supply data on everybody in the university. And then all the ministries, we are related to them. Charlie fast. Okay, so what are the provisions in the policies we are talking about? We have two policies, two main academic policies. Prof. Sarah spoke about the red one. That's the one for what? Graduate studies. And the other one is the one for undergraduate. You will be given copies. I was asking my colleague. They will give you copies, so we'll just run over. So let me start with this one. So whatever I'm going to talk about, they are all in the books. Change of name. Prof. Sarah spoke about this, so I won't waste time on it. When you come into this institution, you apply to the institution with some documents. Your WASI results, your diploma results, and all that. You will only be known by those documents and how you completed your application form. And that's why Uber told you that when you are filling it, please take your time and check the spelling right. In fact, within this period, if you made a mistake, let's say, for example, last year, somebody came to my office and said, oh, sir, my name is Sewa. You know how we spell Sewa? The last word is what? Letter is A, right? Some have H. So she had Sewa, like the last one, the A's were like 3. So after the orientation, she came to my office and said, sir, I saw that my sister, my name is Sewa. And I remembered Rafiq Salam. Wow. So if you have those issues, please, you can come. We'll sort it out for you. What we are talking about is, my name is Kofi John Mahama. I'm coming into the institution, and then I went and faked somebody's certificate. Maybe I faked Kofi Bawomia's certificate. And then when I come into the first year, I quickly write to the DA that, please, I want to change my name. He wants to change his name from the fake one to what? I mean, he has entered already. So he writes to us, he wants to change from the fake one to his what? Original name, so that he will complete with his what? Original name. That's why we say we can change. So there are a lot of issues surrounding that. Let's move on. Profs told you, if you are a female and you want to marry, I don't even know why we change, but if you want to change, you can change. But if you are a Muslim, if you come to me, I'm also a Muslim, I won't change. Because Muslims, we don't change. Okay. Do we change? All right. Academic programs and courses. So, you are sandwich. You are here to do sandwich what? The stream. We have 3 streams. We have regular, sandwich, distance. And you are the sandwich people. And you know your programs that you are doing. So let's move on. I think I even have the thing. Can I operate it from here? Oh. You say yes. You say no. What is it? Okay. So let's see. Oh, it's not working. No. Charlie, let's go. Okay. No. Where were we? Audited courses. Good. You may audit courses. So I am doing BSc Mathematics. And I think if I pick a course in computer science to add up because of my office work, I want to pick some course and add up. You can do that. But please, you have to seek the consent of the lecturer and the HOD of that department before you what? You audit the course. What it means is that you add the course, but we will not use that one. We will not add it to the computation of what? Your CGPA or your GPA. So it will be credit 0. Okay. And we have compulsory courses. That's what Obed talked about. So let's move on. So we have university-wide compulsory courses, faculty compulsory courses. We have department compulsory courses. Before you register, we'll come there. You must go to the department to confirm all this before you register. Tell it, look sharp. So these are some of the university-wide compulsory courses. So every course comes with a credit hours or credit weightings. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3. If you go and register and you see that a course is having 6 credit hours, please raise an alarm. Okay? It's 0, 1, 2, 3. If you are doing thesis, it is 0 in our system. You may see 12, but we will convert it to 0. Okay, let's move on. Now, duration of programs. I am here to do a 4-year program. I am expected to accumulate some number of credits. And I'll give you an example. There was this level undergraduate student who came to my office and said, oh, sir, I checked the graduation list, but I didn't see my name. And I said, oh, why? So I checked through the records. He said, oh, I did everything. I did all the courses. But when I checked and I added the number of what? The total credit he did for the 4 years, they were like 90. So the guy evaded courses. Are you getting my point? He didn't fail, but he didn't get up to the total required what? Credit. So I asked him, boss, pick your pen and let's do this mathematics. Normally, I'll let you do it so that you see it yourself. So he added, and I asked him, how many credits did you get? He said 90 something. I said, so you are not qualified to graduate. So go back and do those courses you didn't do. And you are going to pay fees. We will benefit from you. You decided not to do it. Okay, so let's take note. The minimum credit should be what? 15 per semester. So if you go and register and see 12, you are not done. You have to go and add the rest before you can survive. Let's move on. And then as we move on, we should see the total credit. So if the minimum is 15 and I'm doing 2 semesters in 1 year, it means I should have 30 or more in a year, isn't it? So you should always know how to calculate your credits as you move on. Let's move on. So how do we number our courses? Every course comes with a title and a course code. So we use the course code to reflect the department or faculty you are coming from, and then we use the 3 digits. So if I go and see a course and it is JDM 509, you may want to relate it to John Mahama. Is that not it? Is that not it? Or DMB 596. That is what? Baumia's department. So please take notes. If I'm from mass department and I go and see JDM there, that means there's a problem. So you have to check it before you click yes. All right, let's move on. So, and then the digits for all the programs. I am doing PhD. After registration, I go and see that all my courses are bearing 300. There's a problem. Unless you are picking courses maybe from the what? MPhil area. Okay, so let's move on. Registration procedure, Obed spoke about it, but I'll just say it. You have all paid your fees in full. That's the steps. You must pay your fees in full. And then you get the SMS with your registration number and what? Password. This portal, Prof. Sarah said you should have your Quran and what? Is it your Bible? She said something. When you wake up every morning, please, before you check WhatsApp and Facebook, check this one. Because right now we are here. If you open your portal on the left menu, all the things that are there, we have what we call service information. Your notices, information, whatever we want to send to you, we won't call you and say, Madam, check your portal. We are putting something there. Obed and Co, we just push it there and assume that you have read it. So if tomorrow we are going to do something and you say, they haven't pasted the thing on the board, nobody will do that here. We'll send everything to your portal. So please, let's open our eyes. And then we say that, no, go back. In the policy, if you fail to register, you will not get what? They say students who fail to register by close of registration will not receive grades. Obed mentioned it. You won't get grades. You can go up and come, you won't get it. All right. So we have minimum workload and maximum workload. If I have registered my courses, I have also mentioned this one. The minimum should be 15. The maximum, sometimes we violate it small. It's 18, but some departments, like my friend's department, Dr. Afulfa, they can do 23 or 22. Yeah. I lie. Okay, let's move on. Minimum 15, maximum 18, but we can go beyond the maximum. Class attendance. We are all expected to attend lectures. I think you've done 2 weeks online, is that not it? Now we are here to do 2 weeks face-to-face. And then this clause, they say we are a secular institution. So some lecturers may decide to hold lectures on Saturdays, Sundays, and what? Public holidays. So long as this is still in our policy, it means it is what? Workable. If you want to take it out, please, you can lobby the lecturers. So we know how to lobby lecturers. Oh, boss, you know, today is a public holiday. You have to take your wife out. So why don't you just postpone the time so that we can all go and have fun? Then he will do it. But if you bring law, he will also go and quote law. And you will not succeed. So let's take note of it. And then you shouldn't absent yourself for more than 3 weeks. When we say it's cumulative, not necessarily consecutive. Okay, so this week I'm off. I think when I was in Legon, one professor tried it on me. I miss lectures 3 weeks. So the 3rd week, it was 2.5. So when I got there, he said, Dean, last week you didn't come. The other 2 weeks, you didn't come. He counted 3. And I said, yes, sir. But the last one to you two, you didn't come. It was the TA who came. So that's 2.5. So if we are able to get the 3, we can use it against you. And you know, oh, he's not here. Dr. Adai Jemfi. I wanted to use him. Some students came to my office. And then they said, oh, our lecturer sacked us. I said, oh, why? They don't know. You know, students, when they come to you, the first paragraph, everything will be lies. So you have to let them flow. So when they finish, then you now start picking them one by one. They say, oh, the man sacked us, and we don't know why. I mean, how can you not know why? So I asked them, okay, this semester, have you guys attended lectures? Then the other guy said, yes. It's just that he traveled, though. He traveled for some 3 weeks. I said, okay, he should write down the dates that he traveled, and let me see. And when he wrote all of them down, it violated the class attendance policy. So I said, the lecturer used this policy against you. That's all. He's right. And it was him. So I told them that if you want to survive, don't bring the law because he has the law already. Go back to him and say, sir, we are sorry. And he will admit you. And that's what they did. 3 of them. And then he admitted them back. So let's be careful with it. Assessment. So now we are done with class attendance. Let's see what comes out of it. We do 40% and 60%. Continuous assessment, 40%. You know these ones. Most of you are teachers. And then end of sem, 60%. Some lecturers may vary it some way, somehow. But they will still arrive at 100%. So let's take note. Charlie? So for graduate studies, I think Prof spoke about it. So let's move on. Grading system. For this one, all I'll tell you is that avoid the red line. If you are undergraduate, don't get below 50. If you are graduate, don't get below what? 60. Let's move on. This one is understood. Don't get an E. Simple. Finish. Those times, if you check the graduate one, we're doing D. The grade was D, and some people came to tell us that, I saw D in my portal, and they said I failed. Graduate students, the fail letter was a D. So they used to argue with us. We just call the programmers and say, Master, convert the D to F. They are used to F. So now, graduate students, when you fail, you see F. You won't see D again. Please, you see this one? IC. There are two troubles in this university. If you want, every university, try and avoid them. E and IC. I don't know how they got themselves married. E and IC. If you don't want problems, don't go close to those two people. IC means what? We have CA, you have end of SEM, you have refused to do one of them. I like using the word refuse because you refuse to do it. So they say, come and do quiz one, you say, I'm traveling. So you haven't done it. The lecturer cannot have all what? The assessment. So he will grade you IC. Now when you get IC, when you wake up and open your portal and you see that, course A is there, course B is there, course C is there. But as for course D, I have IC. What do? You go to your lecturer. Say, I check all my results, but yours is an IC. Then he will tell you why it is an IC. But some of us, especially some of the undergraduates, they'll be in the hall. A student came to me and said, Sir, I missed 3 papers. Then I said, oh, wonderful, congratulations. Where were you? Oh, I was at the hostel. That's it. Oh, there are funny stories. If you want one day, we'll play. You see. So please, avoid ICs. And we say that if you don't rectify it, this thing, I think we just have to do it. Obed, when are we doing this thing? Yes. If you don't rectify your IC, so I have continuous assessment 10 over what? 40. I didn't write end of semester. I have IC, isn't it? So the total will be 10 over 100. So the corresponding grade will be what? E. And I have my piece. So we won't wait for you. We'll do it. Charlie, let's move on. Okay. I think this one, we all know it. How to compute the GPA. So this is an example. You have the course, you have the title, you have the credit point, you have the grade, and then you have the grade point. So you multiply the what? The CP and the GP. Get the total. The total divided by the total of the CP gives you what? Your GPA. And if you want the CGPA, you consider all the courses like one semester and do the same process. Very simple. Okay. Progression. Let's do fast. Okay, so all of you are expected to pass. And if you get 13 credits fail or more, you are going home. I know you are all good people. Yeah, nobody will get that. Say amen. Okay, Prof spoke about this, so let's move on. Degree classification. Everybody will be in the top one, or? So they have agreed. Let's go. Display of results. Lecturers, that's their work. They are supposed to give us results, but this one, I won't talk. We will talk about it later. So they will display your results in your portals. Check your portals. Let's move on. Prof spoke about this. You can defer your program, okay, if there are any issues, but you have to write to the Director of Academic Affairs. So this long thing is about that. And there are time limits for your degree completion. If I'm doing a 6-year program, so I'm doing a 4-year. I always like 4-year because that's very simple to do. I have finished, but I still have issues to take care of. You have only 2-year grace period. Are you getting my point? So I finished 2024, and I'm still trailing some courses. I have 2025, 2026 to resolve them. Otherwise, bye-bye. Thank you. There are requirements to writing exams in the university. Prof touch on it small. These are the requirements. You should have paid your fees. You should have registered. You should possess ID card. My boss is looking at me an ID card. And then you should not have what? Disciplinary issues. Please, anytime you are ill, try and get a medical what? Document to support from UCC hospital. If you got it somewhere, they will still verify it. Because somebody can go and manufacture some and bring. That's what in these days we can easily do that. Okay, let's move on. Graduation to their requirements. You should pass all courses, and then you should have attained some GPA. You should have attained what? Accumulated some credits, and then settle all your bills and be in good standing before you can graduate. We check all this, so you can't dodge. The system will check everything. Okay. And then you collect your certificate. Something happened some time ago, and I always give this example personally. So a sister of mine asked me to pick certificate. Those days, we could pick, like, I'll go and see people and then pick your certificate on your behalf with your authority note. So she called me to pick certificate for her. And then I went and spoke to my colleague, Charlie, my sister, make you sort me out. He said, okay. But when they checked, somebody else had come with an authority note from the same sister. So who is the criminal now? Is it me or the guy? So they called me and said, Dean, there are two issues. Your certificate, somebody also brought something. I said, how? So I called my sister and said, oh, she thought the person would not be fast. So I said, so they are arresting us. So come from wherever you are and come and bail me. So because of these legal issues, come for your own what? Certificate. Okay. Charlie, let's move on. Cancellation of award. Like I said, if you did 419 with documents and whatever and you finish and go home, we can still cancel it. When we realize all these things. Before what? So please, let's take note. So, we all have responsibilities. See, we say as part of our guiding philosophy, we have responsibilities. These are your responsibilities. You know some of them. Okay? You must pay fees, which you have done. Please, do you owe us? Nobody will say yes. And then you should register your courses. You should be present at all lectures. You should submit assignments. And then what? If you are not coming to class, seek permission. Medical report to satisfy your what? Absence in terms of illness. And then, after exams, sometimes some people feel that, oh, I passed the paper, but the guy didn't mark well. You have the right to always write for what? To see your script. Okay. These are the exam officers, and I brought this because I want you to see how they help you and help all of us. The exam officers, they ensure that all your courses are mounted. So before you register, they will mount the courses. Okay. And then they place you into groups, class groups. They are in charge of that. If you have issues with class groups, you look for your exam officer. Why is it doing so? Then quizzes, they coordinate it. Assessment, display, they do it. They resolve your issues, academic, assessment-related issues. If they cannot, or if sometimes it goes beyond them, they come to us and then we all do it together. They also offer counseling. We also offer counseling. Just like Segrat is counseling people against us. So we recommend, please, the policies will be given to you. Read. Everything you do on campus will be based on the policies. So let us read and adhere to them. And I said, constantly check your portal. When you wake up, that's what you check first. Obed will be putting things there plenty, or alive. So please check there. Let's discharge our responsibilities. Let's keep records. You have written quizzes, get a file. Admission letter first. Registration second. All your documents, if I were you, I just get a file and be putting them. Go ask for here, when you come, we'll ask for evidence. Okay. And then always liaise with your friends for best practices. See, me, I don't like attending lecture. Somebody likes attending lecture. So you look for that person. There are some people, they are very religious with lectures. Always liaise with them to get the best things. use institutional emails. I put this here because you will be writing for data for your thesis or your projects. If you write to the academic affairs and you want data, and we get the data, we don't send data to private mails. So if you don't have institutional email, that means you won't get the data. Because if you are in the institution, you must get an institutional email. So let us get it. If you open your portal, service information, I think you get them there. Oh, the guy is fast too. Okay, so you can offer suggestions to us. You are part of us now. You are now ambassadors of UCC, so offer suggestions. And then don't come and tell me I'm done. So we are concluding that... why you don't want to show it? So let's strive and what? Let's strive and achieve academic excellence in line with the university policies and regulations and maintain the standard. Do you know the standard? They say that's the new short code. 11117. First in what? Oh, please, you should by now you should know. First in Ghana. Oh, Charlie, you guys are good. You guys are good. There was a slide that you missed that I wanted us to do some exercise with the permission of R. It's in the third one or so. No, we'll do it. Okay, so I'm done, but I wish we would do it. But this, my friend, is saying I should stop. Thank you very much for your attention.
Right, a better round of applause for Mr. Abdullahi for the extensive delivery, and I'm hoping that we have taken notes of all that he said. That brings us to our last presentation for this morning. And before I invite our resource person, our acting registrar, who has been with us since morning, would want to take permission from us to also chair another important meeting. But he said that he'll be back in the afternoon for the afternoon session. So on that note, I'll invite Ms. Vida Mensah to take us through library services for students. With a round of applause, shall we invite her?
Acting Registrar, University of Cape Coast. Permit me to stand on the already existing protocol for the sake of time. Good morning. My name is as brief as my body. I'm Vida Mensah, and I'm your research support librarian. Today, my mission here is simple. I have been asked to come and take you through what the University of Cape Coast Library can do for you in the journey of your academics. Okay, so the University of Cape Coast library is a system. We are a system because we don't work in isolation. We have a partnership with other sister university libraries across the globe. And on campus, we also have 32 satellite libraries, and we all work together to help you achieve the best academic grades that you came here for. Now, this is a brief outline of what we'll be doing. We'll look at the library system, and then we'll also talk about some of the services and facilities you can get. Of course, we are living institutions, so we have rules and regulations. I'll take you through a few of them. And then we'll look at our operational hours. And then we'll also look at how to access the e-library. Then I'll take you through a few security tips when you come to the library, and we will conclude. Now, before we start, I have a few quotes here. The first one is from Albert Einstein. He says that the only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library. And then there's also a saying that to ask why we need libraries at all when there is so much information available elsewhere is about as sensible as asking if roadmaps are necessary now that there are so very many roads. Then, this is the library in totality. So on the average, we have about 100,000 visits when school is in session. And the library can sit 2,000 users at a go. We have over 200 dedicated staff who will attend to your needs. Collection, we have over 800,000 volumes of books, electronic resources, and we have games as well. If you come and you think you are stressed out, we have games to relieve you. And then, like I said earlier, we have 32 satellite libraries, and in Ghana, we are the biggest library. I think I'll need technical assistance, so I'm having issues with this. Technology. Okay, I'm going to skip this one, but the library is as old as the University of Cape Coast. It was established in 1962, and the initial collection was 650 books. And now this is, in April 1963, the library was moved to a temporary building with a capacity of 40, and now it can seat, like I said, 2,000 users at a time. Okay, so our core values. We believe in teamwork and visionary leadership. We are user-focused. We are interested in partnership. We are very professional. Ethical consideration is key to us. And our vision, we provide access to high-quality scholarly information, resources, and innovative services to meet the individual and collective needs of the University of Cape Coast. And our vision is to position the library to contribute to the academic and scholarly excellence of the university. And we do so by providing world-class information, resources, and facilities, and innovative services that will advance teaching, learning, and research, which is the core business of the University of Cape Coast. So our main function, we exist to support the core business of the university, and that is teaching, learning, and research. So everything we do is geared towards these three functions. What are some of the resources and services you can get from us? And so we have the books collection. You can have the reference materials, the journals, the reports, the thesis and dissertation. And those of you doing postgraduates, when you are done, you write a thesis, and it will find itself with us. And those who come after you will also come and refer to that. And then we have what we call the scholarly information resource. And when you come there, you have access to people who will assist you if you want to get publishing avenues. Maybe you want to publish and you are wondering which journal is reputable for me to publish. We'll have staff there who will assist you get that resource. In the course of your research journey, if you get stuck along the way and you come to the library, we have dedicated staff who will assist you to find your bearings back to where you're supposed to be. And then learning facilities. So we have the internet access, both Wi-Fi and cable connectivity. We have some computers, scanners, and other technologies that can help you in your research journey. And we also have specialized services tailored to meet clients' needs. So the school is an inclusive institution. So we have our friends who are challenged. Some are visual challenged, some are physically challenged. And we have facilities to assist them as well. Now, how do you get access to, for example, some of our electronic resources? Most of you, when you are outside, you would like to access the electronic resources. Yes, that one too is a possibility. I will take you through that. But the e-resources we have the e-journals, we subscribe to e-books, we subscribe to electronic thesis and dissertation, and you can also access some of the past questions online. We provide training and workshop when it comes to the Turnitin or the plagiarism software that you'll be using. We provide training for that. And then we also provide referencing management training for you. And so those of you who will be using Mendeley, EndNote, and Zotero, we take you through training so you'll be able to use that one to manage your references when you are doing your work. And we provide research support services. We conduct literature services for students. We also teach students to be able to search for literature themselves, whether you are on campus or outside campus. All right, so let me take you through a few of the facilities you can get on site. We have the Knowledge Commons, and this is a lab, a computer lab for the undergraduate students to do their research work and also their personal learning. And then we have the Research Commons, which is also a computer lab, and this one is for postgraduate students for their research work, their independent study. Then we have the Social Learning Commons, and this is a space to facilitate collaborative learning and knowledge sharing. And this is the only space you can make calls and receive calls in the library. You can do discussions and share knowledge there. You can also play games to relieve tension if you think you are tired and you want to distress. We have discussion rooms that can be booked by a group of students. If you are a postgraduate student, then you get your discussion rooms in the Research Commons, and then the undergrads will get theirs at the Knowledge Commons. But this one will have to be booked in advance for a maximum of 3 hours for a group. And then we also have a seminar room, and this one can also be booked in advance for thesis defense online, for meetings, discussions. You can book that in advance and then you come and have it there. This is a facility within the library for those who are doing law. Call it the law library. So everything about law, you get it here. If you are doing other programs and you think there is a resource on law that you need, when you go there, you will be assisted to get that. And we also have training rooms available. So if you're a group of students and you think there's a training you want to organize, you can book this one and then you have the training there. We are guided by policies. And in the policy, you have your borrowing right. So you may be interested in borrowing resources from the library. Now, all students, including postgraduate students, may borrow up to 6 books for a maximum of 2 weeks at a time, and you can renew them for another 2 weeks. And this one is at a time. You are not supposed to overkeep the book. An overdue attracts a fine. And per the policy, it is 1 cedi per day per book. So if you think you are interested in keeping the book for more than the 2 weeks, come back to us and then let's negotiate. If you misplace a book, you have to report to us and we'll give you time to look for the book. If you're not able to find the resource, then we will negotiate how best we can get our resource back. For now, students who complete are automatically cleared from the system because we are using the electronic system. So you don't need to come back to the library for us to sign any clearance for you. It is done automatically. If you pick any resource from the library, you are not supposed to deface them by right. I know some of us, when we are reading, we love to underline things, paint and all that. No, it is not your personal property, so you are not supposed to do that. And this institution is actually a smoking-free institution. So in the library too, you are not supposed to smoke. But in the library, we don't encourage eating as well. The only edible you can enter the library with is a bottle of water. We don't encourage the water in the sachet because spillage is very easy with that, and that will cause a lot of harm to us. We don't encourage anything edible, including remix. I hope you know remix. Ebroni and Katie, please don't bring them. We don't. They call for things for us. We call them agents of deterioration, so we don't want them. Now, as much as possible, we encourage that you can come to the library with a file, a flat file. But if you so want to come with your bag, then there's a baggage room. You'll be asked to leave your bag there. You will not enter the library with your bag, including laptop bags. So when you come, bear with us. You will take everything you want to take from the bag, including your laptop and everything, but you won't enter with a bag. All right. And students are not encouraged to borrow for their friends. If my resources are with you and you want to return them, your friend can do that for you, but the friend cannot come and take it for you. I hope you understand. All right. Thank you for understanding that one. And then, please, for security reasons, we don't encourage wearing of caps and hats in the library. So when you come, you bear with us. Bear with us on that one. Opening hours. So on weekdays, we open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. when school is in section. When school goes down, we open at 9 and close at 4:30, unless an extension is required. So in your case, if they ask us to go beyond the 4:30, we will consider, but for now, we close at 4:30. Now, when school is in session, during exam hours, we do what we call the TDB. We open at 9 and close the next day at 5 a.m. You may not be fortunate to have that service. Bear with us on that one. We are tired and we need to rest. And on public holidays, we don't open. We don't open on Sundays too. Okay, now how to access the e-resource. I'll take you through that briefly, but when you want to access the e-library, you first log on to library.ucc.edu.gh, or better still, you can log on through the university website, and then you click on the library, and it takes you to the same interface. Now, when you go there, on your extreme left hand, you will see Find Materials. If you click on Find Materials, it will take you to the e-databases, the databases we subscribe to, and then other things that you can access. You can browse through the list of the electronic databases and then pick the one that you think you get your resources from. Some are disciplinary specific, others to cover all disciplinary. So depending on what you are looking for, you select the database that will best solve your problem for you. Right. Because I'll take you through that, let's move to the next stage so that we'll walk through it practically and then we'll understand it better. Let's move to the next slide, please. The next slide, please. Okay, can we click on this one? I hope we are connected to the internet and we can. We can't. Okay, so basically if you click on this one, I wanted us to do this together so we walk through it, but unfortunately they say we can't. If you click on this one, it takes you to the interface, and on the find materials, please let's go back. On the find materials, if you click on that one, you see that it's not only the databases you have access to, you get to visit our catalog. The catalog gives you a list of the print resources we have. So you can search by title, you can search by author's name, you can search by subject. If the resource is in the library, it will tell you the exact library. I told you we have 32 satellite libraries. So if the item is not in the main library, it will tell you the exact library you find the resource and you go there. Now, you can also use that same channel to visit the institutional repository. That is a collection of the electronic thesis and dissertation, and also some research articles by faculty members and other students we have in there. And then you can also access the electronic databases, the electronic books, and the past questions all from that. So all you need is the URL. Now you can also register for off-campus access. Please, let's go back. Most of you, when you are, okay, so let's stay here. When you go outside, you would like to still access the resources from the library. Still go to the library.ucc.edu.gh and then click on Find Materials. Now, under that, you find Remote Off-Campus Access. Remote Off-Campus Access. If you are a first-time user, then you have to register for it. And so you will fill, when you click on first-time user, a simple form will come. You fill that form. And please, you will need an institutional email. Your institutional email is very important. We identify you by your institutional email. So kindly go and register for that, and you will register with that. When you send in the form, it will come back to us, and we will give you a feedback. And in the feedback, we'll give you your username and your password. Subsequently, when you want to access the resources off campus, you use that username and the password to access the electronic library, even off the University of Cape Coast line. Okay. Right, so the past questions too, how to access the past questions. Step 1, you have to visit pasco.ucc.edu.gh, or you go to the library website and then you take it from there. And then step 2, you enter your username, that is your student index number in lowercase, and you enter the password Pasco. And so we've demonstrated there for you an example, and then you take it from there. It's very easy to access. But if you are not able, you can connect to us on the web page. You can connect to us live. We have the live chat services, so you can send us a message there. You can also send us a mail, and we'll respond to us. You can also feel free to walk into the library with your queries, and we will address them for you. A few security tips when you enter the library. We are not saying that the library is not safe. It's one of the safest places you can get. But then when you come, you have to take care of your own properties. You will be the best person to take care of your things. Like I said earlier, for security reasons, our users are not allowed to wear caps or hats in the library. And it is always safer to leave your bags in the baggage room or in the lockers. Please remove all your valuables from the bags before you do that. And when I'm talking about valuables, I mean money, your laptops, your phones. Please don't leave them in. And insist on an identification tag before you leave the the baggage room. When you come back to pick your bag, we'll know you by your identification tag. And so that means you are not supposed to give them to somebody. If somebody else comes with the tag, we'll hand over the bag to the person. And do not give your key or your tag locker to a fellow student or user to pick it up for you. And please, do not leave your items in the care of strangers whilst in the library. So we have instances you are on the same table with somebody, you want to probably get up to go and buy things, and you tell the person to take care of your things for you. If you know the person, fine. But if you don't know the person, carry your properties, go and hand them over to the library staff on the inquiry desk. They will keep them for you. It's safer that way. Okay, so I think I've talked about this one. And if you enter the library and you suddenly feel you are not feeling too good, please draw the attention of the staff around. We have staff who have been trained to assist you. If you need to get to the hospital, they will assist you get there. If you need to get to your hall, they will assist you to get there. Please don't think that I want to put my head on the table and rest for a while. We have instances, students passing out whilst they have their heads on the table. Please help us. Okay, so I think I'm done. If you have any question, you can ask. Okay, so I want to talk briefly about disability services in the library. Like I said, we have one of the best resource center for our friends who are challenged visually and physically. And so basically they write their quizzes and their exams and everything in the library. There are staff who have been trained to assess them. And so if you know somebody who is challenged, the library is the best place for the person to come and then have all the resources. If you have resources and you want them to be brailled for you, we have the braille embosser. We can convert the text to braille for you. Technology-assisted facilities there to help you. Those with low vision, those who want to read audio, they are all there. And we have staff who are trained to be patient with you, so you are not left out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mensah, for your presentation. That brings us almost to the question time. So whilst we wait for our first 5 students to ask questions, I would invite Mrs. Eunice Nate from the Technology Transfer, who is the Technology Transfer Officer at Tvucc, to give us a short presentation. After that, we'll take questions. Shall we invite her?
Thank you very much. Good morning again. So my name is Eunice Nate. I'm here with my senior brother, Mr. Isaac Nketia, and we are the Technology Transfer Officers of the university. I'll share a short story, then I'll tell you what we do. So, next slide, please. Google. I'm sure all of us here are familiar with Google. How many of us have searched on Google just this morning? Now, Google, back please. Google was started by 2 young men in the Stanford University way back in 1995. And that was their PhD project. So these boys, next slide, Larry Green and then Sergey Brin. They started this process of node sequencing. And then in the university, they had an office called Office of Technology Licensing. And when they started, they coded the software in their room. They contacted this office, and this office helped them. Eventually, they got investment to start the company, and that is the Google and Alphabet we know now. Google is worth more than 700 billion. That's just the brand. Then Alphabet is worth more than 800 billion. These boys are still enjoying money from their PhD project, which is now their lifetime work, because they got help from their Office of Technology Licensing in their university. Praise the Lord. UCC now has an office like that here. Clap for UCC. Next slide, please. So in UCC, this office is called the Innovation and Technology Transfer Office. What we do is that we'll help you if you have created anything, if you are writing a song, or you have created an artwork, or you've invented something, or you even get the idea to invent, we can help you and guide you. Maybe you think that a thing does not exist, but when you can, we'll help you to search, to see things that exist around what you want to create, or even that thing you want to create that it exists. Then you see how you can maybe improve on it. Then you can get what we call intellectual property assets. Subsequently, we'll be doing trainings to educate you further on what intellectual property is. So whenever you get creative, you are creating something new, music, artwork, logo, invention, software, just come to our office. We are located in the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Consultancy. We are located at the Block B of the administration building, the Emmanuel Adwabin Administration Building, and ask for the Innovation and Technology Transfer Office. What we do is that we create an IP mindset on campus. We guide the invention process. We evaluate inventions. We take steps to protect IP assets. We manage the investing intellectual property assets. And then we source investments for the things you create so that they will become businesses that you can benefit from for your lifetime. So this is us. Next slide, please. Mr. Isaac Nketia is here. And that is me, Eunice Nate. We are the founding technology transfer officers in the university now. So our contacts on the next slide. Shoot us an email, call us, visit our website at drake@ucc.edu.gh for more information. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam, for the short presentation. I hope we've been well informed. It's now time for questions. I would kindly invite the first 5 students to line up on my left. Questions, clarifications, maybe suggestions on all the presentations that we've had this morning. And please, if you do, kindly line up on my left. First 5. And please, can we have all 5? Let's know your name, the program, and then the question follows. All right. Sir, please, I think you can start.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam. My question is, please, I'm saying my question is, okay, sorry. My name is Katigli Augustine. Yes, the question I'm asking is, I have done my payment.
Hello. Can we give him the audience, please? So I repeat, let's know your name, your program, and then the question follows. Thank you.
Okay. So sorry for that. My name is Katigli Augustine. Med Mathematics Program. My question is, I did payments in the bank. Then full payments. Now I went for registration. And I was, in the first place, I was not given the registered number and the passcode. So as one of our presenters said, you can go to the registration finder to find your number. I went there and they said payment has not yet received. And then we were also given the website to text our payment of receipts. And then our administrator will also text those payment of receipt, and up to now, when you still log in, they say that your payment has not yet received. Now I want to find out what is the next solution to our problems. Thank you very much.
My name is Beniso Doibia Mwakon. I'm at Social Studies. When the Dean of School of Graduate Studies was talking, she made mention of change of program. She didn't say it was entirely impossible. So I want to ask, if ever you want to change your program within this week, what are the steps?
Thank you very much. My name is Lucy Osua. I'm a English. Please, I had a conversation with one of my brothers about Enfield. And he said, Enfield, I cannot do it because, excuse me, the university is going to take about 5 or 6 years before I'll be able to complete. I want to know how true is it and why. Thank you.
Kofi Saro Tvucc is my name. Mine is not a question, but it's just a recommendation to management. I believe university have introduced a new program, information studies, and the university has been one of the best students in West Africa, #1 in West Africa, the #1 in Ghana. Now I'm just asking the institution to realize that so many years, the university just introduced the program recently. Now we don't have archivists in this university. We don't have records managers. So I'm just recommending to management to consider that. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Mark David Stoughton, Medilab. My question is, a lot has been said today, and a lot of slides have been showed, some of which contains links, telephone numbers. But we don't have copies of all of those information, and we can't keep all of what is presented in our mind today. So if some of these things, some of these links and slides can be given to us so that we can refer to them. Also, nothing was said about Wi-Fi and passwords. I think we will need them.
Hello. Okay. I'll answer 2 of the questions that were asked, and then afterwards, respective officers would come and answer the remaining ones. So one of you asked if it's possible for you to change your program. I just want to refer you to your admission letter. I think that is the first sentence there, after your salutation. It says that you have been offered admission into so-and-so program. A change of program is not allowed. Am I correct? Okay. And then the one on the access to all that has been discussed today. I want us to know that this orientation program is being streamed live by TVUCC. So beyond this program, when we are done, if you go to Facebook, you look for TVUCC, you'll see all the presentations that has been done this morning and even for the afternoon session. Going forward, we'll try to put the presentations in your portal. Thank you.
Yep, the person who said has not received the index number to date. Normally, it happens at the bank. If they take the money and they do direct deposit into the investor's account, normally it doesn't get reflected instantly. So in your case, from here, you have to go to room 204 within the central administration. 205, the student account office, and report to them with your receipts and all other documents you have. Now, all those who have paid and they've still not gotten their index numbers. They've gone to the link and they said, payment not found. Take your receipt, go to the block A, room number 205. That's the student account office, and show them the receipt. They will credit you, then you get your index number instantly after that has been done. Okay. Up. The Wi-Fi password. You can walk to the MIS office. Hello. You can walk to the MIS office. An account to be created for you, so they can use it to access the university's Wi-Fi. I guess that's cool. The institutional emails will be sent to you in the course of your studies. So once it's ready, you visit your student portal, you see your institutional email and a password to the institutional email and the steps to follow to activate the institutional email. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think a question was asked about change of program. Earlier on, the dean talked about change of program. And we at the School of Graduate Studies, I think we have experienced this a lot. A number of people, particularly people coming from the distance education, we see a whole lot of people wanting to change. And I can cite an example, particularly people who are admitted into MBA accounting and will want to change to MBA finance. They choose the programs, and then when they get to campus, they are advised and encouraged by their peers to change to either finance or to accounting. And they come to the good School of Graduate Studies. They will want us to change the program for them. The dean indicated that even if we are going to, it is indicated that we are not supposed to change. But if it becomes necessary and we have to change, that must be done early enough, in the sense that the programs don't have the same fees. If you have paid your fees into one program, now you are changing to another program that has either lower fees or higher fees. It becomes a problem, and it creates a situation for all of us. So we advise that if you want to do any change of program, make sure you do that early enough to avoid all these bottlenecks. It will do us a lot of good. And I want to ask something little about change of name. The dean spoke about it, but the change of name is one of the problems that we encounter at the School of Graduate Studies. People get into marriages, bring us their affidavit based on which we do the change. And then we do the change. Then in the following month or 2 months, they get a divorce. And then come back wanting us, this is very important, you have to listen to it. They get a divorce, comes back to the School of Graduate Studies, change it for me, now we are no longer together. I wanted to be known as Mrs. this, that, but we are no longer together. So before you do that, think very well before you come and do any change of name. Thank you. But with the men, we don't accept change of name. If you are known as Kosi Mensah, and it is based upon which you were admitted into the university, you don't come and say, I now want to change to Kosi Mohammed Nuruddin. We don't do that. You shall be known by the name by which you were admitted into the university, and then you will complete with that. We also had a situation recently where somebody wrote to us for change of name. We said no. Then the person wants now to take it in a legal way, trying to say that, oh, I changed my name. Now I want to come in, though on my certificate it is called Kosi Mensah, but I want to change into the name that is on the affidavit that I have changed my. We don't do change of name. we use your certificate, the names on the certificates shall be known by you, and that is what we shall use for all the records in the university. Thank you very much. Okay, so for the duration, the typical MPhil program is 2 years. But we have people, in your case, I think you are coming on as top-up students, and the top-up is just only 1 year. But the 1 year is 2 sandwich semesters. Are you getting it? Because it's sandwich semester, we have one for 1 year, and then the following year you complete. But for the normal MA, MSc, I think most of them, some of them are 2 sandwich semesters, some go beyond that. So that is it for the duration. But if you are going into the regular program, that's also a different thing altogether. Thank you very much.
Okay, so somebody asked about records. Yes, we have records officers in the university. We have a records management policy. In fact, it was championed by the university librarian. And we have a records center at the central administration there when you come there. So we have records officers along. Yeah. Just to add to the change of name thing, a lady came to us to attack us some time ago. Yes, that this man's name in my certificate, I don't need it. Because of, like he said, divorce issues. And there was a slide I wanted you to show. Chuck, our social media pages. You see, when you join the organization, it is better you join their pages. If you join our pages, somebody asks about copies of things. There are things you see there. So these are the pages, the university pages. Okay? On our Facebook, on X, on our YouTube. Okay, please follow us there. Follow the university here. We put a lot of things there, from public affairs, from MIS, from Dean of Students. So follow our pages. Thank you.
If we can have that page on for some time, right? So these are the official outlets of the university. You can count on these pages for authentic information. Yeah. Do you have any more questions? Next 5, maybe the last 5. Okay. Right. So let's know your name, your program, and then your question.
Okay. Thank you very much for this orientation. My name is Isaac Alhassan Isahaku. I am here to pursue Bachelor of Arts, Labor Studies. And my question is, all along, I have not heard any of our presenters talked about ID cards. And I think that as students, the next thing that our lecturers and examiners will be demanding before you can take any quiz or anything is ID card. Nobody has mentioned that. And my next, that one is a recommendation or a suggestion. Some of us have already started our lectures online. But I think that it has not served us better if we had gotten this orientation before the online classes. So I'm suggesting that if it is possible and visible and correct, maybe we can rather have the orientation before the start of the classes. It's just a suggestion in a way, but if it is not feasible, there's no problem. Thank you very much.
My name is Bawa Zakaria Abdullah, MPhil Measurement and Evaluation. My first question has to do with sexual harassment. I just want to ask whether I've been hearing about something called Pentecostal hack, whether that one also constitutes sexual harassment. Then secondly, my question, or maybe let me say it's a suggestion. I've just heard the last speaker talk about ITTO office, the Innovation, Technology and Transfer Office. In an era of technology whereby maybe you may be at the comfort of your home and receive so many information about our certificates and maybe the transcript, can't it be, or maybe there should be a modified way in which one can receive his certificate or transcript at the comfort of his home, rather than just traveling to UCC to receive it? Thank you.
Please, I'm Mary Mensah, Med Home Economics. I want to find out if booking of the library for individual activities goes with a fee.
My name is Emmanuel Keyajido, Social and Conference and Management. Please, my question is concerned about the certificate issue. Yeah, it came that you will be a student at University of Cape Coast. As soon as you completed school, it's hard you to get a certificate. But let's take for instance, I'm from North Volta region, and I attend school here, and I completed. They told me that I should come for certificate, but I will travel from far away and come. But as soon as I come, they will talk you, go to this department. Then you walk up and up. Then later you won't get certificates. What solution are universities are putting down to resolve this situation if anything happen like that?
My name is Derek Amwesi Amos, and I'm doing BSc Mental Health Nursing. And I'm asking this question on behalf of all my colleagues, I should say. And yeah, I want to know more about audited courses and what are the implications of not attending classes for that, because for us, we have one audited course that we've never met the facilitator, and we are worried about that. We want to know the implications of it.
I'm Samuel Ama, an MAGSD student. This goes to the librarian. I wanted to find out if the library has a cafeteria where students can have a quick snack whilst in the library. Okay, I'm Samuel Ama, an MAGSD student. I wanted to ask the librarian if the library has a cafeteria where students or users can use for a quick snack. And also the e-books. Do we have a particular login? Since the institutional emails are not ready, what login do we use to access the books? Thank you.
Hello? Okay, so I'll answer two of the questions, and then my colleagues will answer the remaining ones. The one on the Pentecostal hack. If we listened to the presentation on gender and harassment very well, our presenter made us know that harassment is any unwelcome advance. Any unwelcome advance. So if the one you are going to hack does not think that he or she wants to be hacked, then the person feels harassed. Then really, you've caused harassment on the part of that person. Even if you stretch out your arms, like the presenter said, if the person agrees and you even stretch out your arms, and in the process of the hack, the person says, no, I don't want to be hacked, kindly put your hands down. Yes. That is the definition for sexual harassment at the University of Cape Coast. Any unwelcome advance. So before you do anything, any act with anybody, the first thing is consent. If the person even agrees, and in the act, the person decides otherwise, the act must be stopped. It's as simple as that. Thank you. The one on the certificates, I just want to say that, well, so once you go through the program at the University of Cape Coast and you are done, there's a small procedure you have to go through. There's going to be a congregation ceremony, and it's expected that you pay the graduation fee. You show evidence of payment of the graduation fee, which will be your paying slip from the bank. And then once you proceed to the officer in charge, they will check through if you have duly cleared yourself as a student of the University of Cape Coast, and then your certificate will be given to you. This is the procedure we have adopted here at the University of Cape Coast for collection of certificates. I am not sure how come our students who asked that question came by that perception, but that is the procedure. There's going to be a congregation ceremony for all graduates who have duly completed their program of study. You pay for the graduation fee. You are checked if you've cleared yourself, and then your certificate is given to you. So that is a procedure for now. Right, so I'll invite my officers to now handle the other issues. Thank you.
Hello? Yep. So the certificate issue, like my colleague rightly said, that's the procedure. But I understand where the money is coming from. Do you know some people graduate without certificate? Are you aware? Okay, let me give you one story, then you know why. A lady came to my office and told me that, sir, my parents are coming from UK for my graduation, but my name is not in the graduation list. And the graduation was just the next day. I said, oh, really? What's the problem? Have you checked your portal? She said, oh, since I left this university, I've not even checked it. Oh. I said, please check. When she opened, she saw Com Skills, IC. If you have an IC, you can't graduate. Are you getting the point? So this person had already secured venue here, a hotel for the parents. They bought food, everything. So she came quietly, and she told me that, okay, no problem. She will come and rectify it, but she will graduate blindly. So blind graduation means what? She will dress, she will come and be with her friends, and she will lie to the friends that, oh, the graduation book, they made a mistake and omitted my name, but I'm graduating. She did everything. So somebody like that, after the graduation, she will now come to us that same day to start what? Rectifying the issue. And that's where somebody will think that they are tossing you, because you surely have to move from one office to the other to look for your lecturer, to look for your scores, to get your what? Assessment resolved. So the procedure is intact. All those who follow it, they get their certificate that day. But those who have issues, anytime you have a friend who is doing that, please check him. It means he failed some courses or he didn't pay some monies. I hope it's clear. We have certificates. Now you can sit in your bedroom and then send us an email, and we'll send you a scanned copy. I think we are the only ones doing that in Ghana. Please clap for us. We have to do small politics. Okay? The transcript too, we have an online system. So me, if I were you after that, I would just sit in the house and collect everything. The online system is very fast. You just go online. As soon as you graduate, we take you back to alumni portal. Then you see application for transcript. You click. You pay with Momo, and then you download it, and then you get your transcript. You can actually apply online for transcript. So scan certificates, you can get them. My brother, I'm also from the north. I facilitate that for people. I just tell them, go to, alumni.ucc.edu.gh and apply, and you get your transcript. So we do it online. There was another one. Audited course. And I'm happy you asked that question. Last week, we dealt with that problem with some law students. See, when I audit a course, what it means is that I must go through assessment. But end of semester is not mandatory. Are you listening? You are not mandated to do what? End of semester. So if you don't go through assessment, you will not get your transcript okayed. It means you cannot graduate. So somebody will say, oh, me, I've audited the course, but I won't go for lecture. Don't go for lecture. At the end of the day, in our system, if we don't see assessment 1 and 2, at least everybody should go through what? 2 assessments. If you don't see those assessments, the system will not graduate you. So those who have audited and you don't have assessment, either we delete it and you are free, or you get the assessment inside. End of sem is not compulsory. You are not even mandated to write it. But the assessment, you must have it. Okay, I hope it's clear. It's not clear. We said our assessment, we do what do you call it, continuous assessment, and we do what? End of SEM. If you audit a course, you must have continuous what? Assessment. Otherwise, you cannot graduate. Very simple. So if you have audited a course and you don't have what do you call it, assessment, please just write to us and we can delete it for you so that you'll be at peace. Otherwise, you look for the lecturer. If he wants to manufacture assessment for you, it's between you and him. And that is not what holy. Is it holy? Okay. ID cards. We will do, we are going to have a session for all of you. We will take pictures and then we'll print the ID cards for you. You see, in the past, this is what we were doing. We create a portal. If you open your portal and you go to personal details, you see that your details are there and there's a portion for picture. Okay. So we allowed students to upload pictures. And do you know what they did? Some uploaded bedroom pictures. There was one I saw, I don't want to say it here. Some uploaded beach pictures. Some uploaded all kinds of pictures. Then after that, this same person will come and say, my certificate, look at the picture there. But you put it there. So now we will take the pictures here. We may even use this venue for that purpose. So very soon, check your portal. Please, I said check your portals. The information will come here, we'll do it within some 3 days, we'll sort you out. So you get your ID cards. Is that okay? Thank you very much. There was one I wrote.
Okay, so the first question was to find out if the library facilities are booked at a fee. All members of the university community can use all our facilities and services at no fee. You pay library user fees, so we don't charge you for that. And then somebody also asked if there is a cafeteria. Yes, we have a snack bar at the lower ground floor of the library. So if you come and you think you want to break to take a snack, you can go to the lower ground floor to do that. And the question on what can be done now that you don't have the institutional email with regards to the e-books. Okay, so the e-books, the copyright issues surrounding the e-books is such that you can't download them. You can read online. You can, the download works like you are borrowing it. So when they give you access to that, you keep it for a number of weeks, and if the time elapses, when you are opening it, it will look like it's corrupted. You can't even open it. And so because of that, because of copyright issues, if you are not on the university line, then you have to be identified by the institutional email. You have to be registered. So for now, what you can do is that when you are on campus, if you can download as much as possible the articles that you think will be helpful to you. For the e-books, you can only read online and also download for a few weeks. And when you go outside, probably you might have to send us an email with your request. I told you we do literature searches. So send us an email with what you want, and we'll help you search for them and mail them back to you. I hope I have answered your question. So you are able to register for the off-campus access. That is what we can do. Thank you.
Okay, right. I'll give the last lot to the Dean of Students. I'm sure he would want to address the issue on why we are doing the orientation after the online lectures.
Yes, I share my friend's sentiment, but it is difficult for us to do this online. You see, we want to have this face-to-face interaction. That is why, you know, your mode is the online. It starts immediately before you come. So if we are going to go with what my friend is saying, it means we have to find a way of doing the orientation online. But I'm sure it will not be as we have it. And so, although we acknowledge that you need this information even before you start your online, lectures, it is very appropriate that we wait for you to come and then we have this face-to-face interaction with you during the orientation. As much as possible, we'll try to put the information you need to start your online lectures. We'll make sure we get it across to you. And I'm sure colleagues are saying that when we give you these portals and what have you, our websites, make sure you visit them so that at least some of the information that you need that are basic for you to be able to start your online lectures, you're able to get that. It's unfortunate, but this is what we can do currently. Thank you.
Right, so that brings us to the end of the morning session for our orientation. We'll take a 1 hour break. Okay, it's 11:33. So we'll take a 1 hour, 30-minute break and come back at exactly 1 o'clock. For the afternoon session, we are going to look at quality assurance issues, healthy living on campus, campus security services, and then we'll learn the melodious UCC anthem. So before we go on the break, I just want us to take note of the following. Those of us offering MEd Math Education, kindly note that your department wants to meet you tomorrow at 11 o'clock at the Education Lecture Theatre at the old site. I also want to sound a caution to us. The University of Cape Coast is a university with a seafront view, but please, swimming is prohibited. And by that, we mean swimming at the beach side, at the pool side, even by the lake. Any small water body is not allowed. Please, it's in our own interest. We have had a lot of cases of students drowning. So please, you want to avoid any water body activity whilst you are here for your 4-week period. I just want to caution us because we've come at a time where Cape Coast will be having its festival. There may be a temptation for us to be involved in some water body related activities. Please, I repeat, there have been too many instances of students drowning. And so swimming at the beach, at the poolside, any water body activity is prohibited. If there is any students group on campus that invites you to any water body activity, please take it from us that we said it is not accepted at the University of Cape Coast. On that note, I wish you all